Go and try your luck. Test me in again, we let it rain. Please don't start us up. Got that black and white, that yin and yang. Mr. Officer, please don't search us, we don't got a thing. Tell her park it up. Then that ass be poking out them jeans. I've been sparking up like the fireworks.
What's up?
What's up, Garrett? Hey, I'm your sponsor, bro. You're getting sponsored right now. There you go, man. So now you gotta drink like 5 of them at one time. See what happens.
Now I gotta show you something.
Okay.
All right. You got to get him opening it up, James.
Oh my gosh.
I was ready for you.
Look at that. Woo-hoo-hoo.
You're the goat.
Oh my gosh.
Hopefully
You're the man.
Oh, wait a minute. Nice to meet you.
Same here, dude. Oh my god.
How many people were you planning on?
It's alright, I'm a meat lover, so it's great.
Let's go.
That looks unreal.
Yeah, it'll be good. So it's pretty much done cooking. And
Sweet.
Then we'll sear it really quick and we'll dive in.
Perfect.
Okay, let's do it.
So you guys are from Vegas?
Yep, from Vegas. We came all the way down here to see you, man.
I have a blackjack table.
Oh, do you really?
Little $5 hand.
Oh, I don't play, but oh well. Yeah, I'm really not a gamble kind of guy, but I will gamble on real estate. That's one of the things I'll gamble on. What are you doing right here, Garrett?
So I'm cooking some meat. We're about to sear it up on my cast iron skillet.
So, is that the technique? You actually smoke it, then oh, it's on.
It's on. Yeah, that's called a reverse sear. So
Okay.
you get it up to the temperature you want.
Okay.
So it's nice and consistent throughout the middle.
Yeah.
And then you sear it to get the nice crust and
Ooh.
some extra flavor. So I smoked it today on oak and hickory wood.
How long does that take?
About an hour. So
About an hour?
I'll give you the whole process.
Okay.
So I salted it about 2.5 hours ago.
Okay.
Get a really heavy salt. That lets the moisture come out and then come back in a little bit. And so it makes for a really nice and juicy steak. Right before you put it on the smoker, you pepper it. So you put a lot of pepper on.
Okay.
And that's all I use, salt and pepper and butter. Smoked it for about an hour and a half, or not an hour and a half, about 45 minutes on the green egg at about 275. I like mine medium.
Same here. I love it medium. That's
Good.
perfect. I like you already.
We'll get along great.
I know.
And then, yeah, we'll sear it on this guy. And then we'll finish it with some butter.
Isn't that crazy when you make some meat and there's like a science behind it?
I love it, man. I'm addicted to it.
I am too, but you know what? The grills that I have are so what I do is I actually bake it in the oven at broil, right? Get it at medium, and I'll do probably like, I would say 5 minutes at that point, bring it out, cast iron, same thing.
Same idea, same
Then
technique.
at that point, sear on both sides.
Yeah,
But I do use salt and pepper, but I do use sea salt.
Sea salt's good.
Yeah, so that's what I use.
today.
Nice. Ooh.
Garrett about how he usually manages the properties of the best health, and then we have a chance to catch up and see in the meantime I'll get that framer's number for you. Okay, thanks so much.
Can you feed me?
I can feed you.
Oh. Man, this is good.
Not bad, huh?
There's one thing that we're missing. I'm gonna tell you right now. It's some jalapenos. That's my thing.
There you
Steak
go.
and jalapenos. Dude, that thing is delicious.
I actually did a marinade the other day with
Did you?
jalapenos. No.
Don't wonder why he's your best friend, dude.
That's why we keep them around.
This is, and we might film others, but this is like our first ever podcast. And I think everybody deserves to know that to do this, we actually set this up with whatever was in Garrett's garage while you were here.
Yeah. And you know, it's actually pretty impressive because, I mean, we got, I would say, I don't want to say professional setup, but this setup right here, they threw this thing together in 5 minutes.
And just so you guys know, we have wanted to start the podcast, and we decided what better way to do it than to just do it. You were coming to visit, and for those of you that don't know Chakits, his story is that he's a total baller. he was working as a realtor and then got involved in YouTube, social media. And this year, you were able to bring in
About 1.1 million.
in earnings.
That is correct.
And the year before, 2 years before that, you were hovering down in the hundreds of thousands, right?
Yeah, I was probably doing about $500,000, but then the YouTube thing really took off, and that's kind of like where it led me to where I'm at today. So
That's awesome. So today, I really wanted to
Yeah.
dive into your backstory because
Okay.
you talk about how you came from nothing. We also want to talk about, your experience as a realtor and then how social media has impacted that. And then we'll just see where we end up with Garrett
Cool.
here. Who knows?
All right. So basically, I came to Vegas about 20 years ago, and I was going from job to job, didn't really know what I wanted to do. And I was kind of like one of those guys that were just like drifting, right? And Vegas during that time, during the boom, like you could like literally get jobs fast. Like on the application, you could put whatever you wanted on the application and you would get a job. So I started off as like a lifeguard. So, we would go to like one casino, I would get my certification, became a lifeguard. I started like partying, and I kind of like became like the leader of the group. Like, hey, you know what? We're gonna start partying. We're gonna party hardcore. So we'd work Monday through Friday, party on the weekends, and I would set everything up. But after a while, I realized that, I gotta get out of this business because it's not worth it. You're wasting time. So at that point, I had to figure out what can I do to actually make some quick money, right? Some real money. So I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna go to school to become an AC technician. So I did that for a little bit, but Vegas is so hot. After about, I would say about a year into it, I was like, you know what? I'm done. Because when you're in an attic and it's like 160 degrees, let me tell you guys, I was done with it. So I told this guy, I was like, you know what? I quit. He's like, you ain't gonna quit. Watch this. 2 weeks notice, and I just quit. But I knew I had to do something with the money that I already accumulated. So I was like, I gotta get into something. And I knew that I had to get into some sort of sales. And I wasn't good at sales and I couldn't talk to people. But I know I wanted to start my own business, and I didn't really know how to manage money that well. I didn't know how to get clients. So I was like, what could I do, right, to get into a business where I can create my own hours, make some money, but also learn sales? So I was like, hey, why not start a mobile detailing business? So I started a mobile detailing business. I got a trailer, tank, and all that stuff, and I started going out doing free car washes, right? But then I would learn how to detail cars, and I became a master of my craft.
So I've got to know, did you have any like negative things happen? Like you screwed up someone's seat?
Yes, that has happened. So there was a time that I broke a handle, and I didn't have insurance at the time. But the cost was so low, I just took the car down to the dealership and I just paid for it. And there was another time where I etched somebody's rims. So it was like one of those matte black rims. So I etched the rims because when it comes to mobile detailing, the type of chemicals you use could actually be harsh to the surface that you're cleaning. So I destroyed this guy's rims. I was like, oh my God. So at this point, he was like, don't worry about it, I'm gonna get a new one, but can you fix it? So I was like, maybe I could fix it. So I came up with an idea because I used to do auto body. So what I did was I actually sanded down the rim, primered it, and repainted. And it was like good as new. So from there, I was like, you know what, maybe I should get into auto body. So I started doing like paintless dent repair, auto body work as I was doing detailing work. One thing that I've always learned through, like these financial real estate gurus, these guys would always talk about like how wealthy people have real estate as their portfolio. And I would always listen to like podcasts, right? And I'm talking about where you can put on your MP3 players. So I would always listen to this stuff. So there was a guy, his name was Judson Voss, and he was out at Charlotte, North Carolina. And he specialized in subject twos. And this is a time when I didn't really make that kind of money. I was gonna make like $4,000 a month. And our bills were like $2,500, so I was just saving. So I just flew on down there for like 3 days and kind of shadowed him at that point. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take this subject two. And if you guys don't know what subject two is, it's you're subject to existing financing. So you're taking somebody's mortgage, and at that point, you're taking over that mortgage and you're renting out that property. But they are reliable for the mortgage. Now, I came back, I was thinking about doing that, but I realized it was just too hard. And what I mean by that is, it's hard to go out and find those type of deals, and it costs us money, and the reward is not worth it. So what was the least resistant path that I could take to make a lot of money? So I realized, why don't I just become a real estate agent, learn the contract, deal with real estate investors, right? Because I already know the lingo and terms, I already know what I'm looking for. At that point, I was working with real estate investors, and I was finding them the deals
I was using their money, but I was also like learning. So it's kind of like an intern thing, right? So I was getting better and better at it. So at that time, I was starting to stack my money. But remember, I told you during this time period in 2008, this is when homes were only like $80,000. So your commissions were like $1,500, $1,600. It wasn't that much. But again, this was the best learning experience I ever had because now I know the contracts. I know how title and escrow works. I know how the prelim looks like, right? That gave me the leverage. So at that point, I bought one property. I was like, okay, I'll put that on the side. Then I bought another one, put that on the side. Then I bought another one. I was like, oh, put that on the side. So I started stacking up. So at this point, I realized, you know what? Maybe I need to look into something different. Maybe it's multifamily. So that's where I started stacking up and say, you know what? Maybe multifamily is the way to go. So now I'm here.
This is right after the crash.
Yes, this is like right after the crash. I was coming in, everybody was going out.
You're begging for somebody to buy
Yes,
something.
but here's the thing. I was okay already with sales because of the mobile detailing, right?
Yeah.
So this guy gave me a list of numbers. All I was doing is making calls. But I was learning as I was going. Just knocking on doors, doing open houses. So that's where I started because I didn't really have any money, but you have to scale in this business. So what I mean by scaling in this business is once you make a little bit more money, then you throw money at it, right? You let it season a little bit and you see where it works. But as you get more better in real estate, right, or running a business, you get more creative because now it's all about how do I spend my money wisely? How do I analyze numbers? So I'm always throwing money at certain things, but if they're all calculated moves and you're constantly collecting data, that's all this is all about. Like I've been in business now for about 10 years and what I realized is that my motto is this, pivot and profit, okay? And I tell all the agents this, and this is the reason why it's important, is because 1 year I specialized in REO properties. We're doing over 100-something transactions.
Wow.
I worked with an investment company, it's a hedge fund company. We did almost like 400 deals in 1 year. I specialized in short sales when the market tanked. I worked with an attorney, I think we did 120 deals a year. So you always gotta pivot and profit. So you gotta look at your marketplace and see exactly what's going on. I don't know if it was luck, or I can kind of see what's going on with the marketplace. And that's how we got into the YouTube situation. Because every year since I started, the income level always has grown. And that's what I always push for. So it's hard work, but can it actually be done? Yes, it can be done. Basically, we have about 6 agents on the team. We have a transaction coordinator, and also we have a business management, right? Joey, he handles like all my files. He handles all my agents. So I don't really deal with that. All I look at every single day when I come into the office is my breakdown of how many approvals we have, how much we have in commissions, what are the payouts every single month, who's making the numbers and who's not. And those are the things that are important to me because now I can do a reverse prospect, find out what agent's not closing. Okay, well, you got 150 leads. You didn't get one approval. What's going on? Your conversion rate is about 10%.
So if you've got a guy like that, like let's say you find a realtor
Yeah.
and you're seeing they're bombing, what's your course of action on that? Like what do you?
So basically what we do is pull them into the office and we have a conversation and see where that disconnect is. What happens is sometimes agents will end up going into this roller coaster effect. They make $150,000 a month, they focus on that, but they don't continue to make the calls or the lead follow-up. Next 3 months, they're going downhill. Now they get paranoid. Now they're making the calls again. So that's the reason why we always have meetings every single week to keep pushing these agents and constantly to, embed it in their head. You gotta make the calls.
What have you done? Because I know in our industry it's the same way, but
Yeah.
you'll get people that they are extremely talented, and so they'll get these big hits,
Yeah.
and then they lose interest because they've got money, and they'll be back. We
Yeah.
know that, but then they get very lazy after they've gotten a couple big hits, and I'm sure it's even worse with yours because you sell, $1 million, $2 million house. That's a big hit for these guys.
Now, one thing we look at is their motivation. Okay, why are these agents on the team? And we already set the expectation when you come on the team. Like this team does not do nothing but grinding. That's all we do. So we kind of set that up front. When an agent comes in like that, we got to pull them off to the side. And if they don't make moves, at that point we just fire them. So we're very slow to hire but quick to fire. That's just the way it is because time is money, and the leads that we do get are very expensive. And this is a machine where once you get this machine going, you put money into it, you constantly got to watch it because you're always scaling. It's like you make $1 million, now the goal is to make $2 million, now it's to make $3 million. Who's holding me back?
So with your leads, what percentage would you say are coming from YouTube or your social media? and what are you spending and what percentage are coming from other avenues?
So you're not going to believe this. So I spend $0 on leads now. Okay.
That's awesome.
But obviously we make a revenue from YouTube. Okay. So we generate probably about almost 700 leads a month just off of social media.
Holy cow.
Yes.
And that's mostly from your YouTube, right? Because that's your biggest
yes,
social media.
That is correct. So everything
is it people like calling saying, I saw this house, can you get me one like it? Or just calling saying, hey, looks like you know what you're doing, I'm trying to sell or I'm trying to buy. Like, what are you getting the most of?
So what I get the most of is...
That meat's getting both of us.
Yeah. Next, you know, I'll be like this. All right, so...
The meat sweats.
Yeah, exactly. So here's the thing. So when it comes to like calls, most of them are buyers that are out of state, right? Because if you take a look at my market, the median price point for a home is about $345,000. Average days on the market is less than 16 days now. Things are moving quickly. If you take a look at the migration pattern of what's going on right now, a lot of people are transitioning, right? From one state to another because of taxes, right? And also what's going on with the economy right now, especially with inflation. A lot of people don't think inflation is out there, but inflation is out there right now. It's unbelievable. So people are starting to retire because if you look at the demographics as far as like baby boomers, that's a big chunk of demographics that is starting to retire. So now they are starting to reposition. It's how much money do I have? I'm about to retire in 5 years, right? Where do I go? So they're looking all over the place. So one of the states is Las Vegas, because it's right next to California.
It's warm.
Exactly. And a lot of people from California, like Graham Stephan, he's moving on out, well, he's actually moved out there.
And with Vegas, I mean, it's substantially cheaper than a lot of other areas. At least right now, you're not dealing with state tax. Like,
Correct.
You've got a lot of advantages.
No, you're absolutely right. So a lot of our clients, right, will automatically go to YouTube or Google homes for sale, right, in Las Vegas or Henderson.
And so you're getting hits from Google too if people search.
Yes, exactly. Because again, it's how you tag it. So if you just said, you know, homes for sale in Las Vegas, you scroll down a little bit, you'll see suggested videos. They click it, they watch it. Now text sends them right directly to the page. Now they're like, oh, this guy's got a bunch of properties. Ooh, I like this one, I like this one, I like this one. Now that you're starting to build rapport. So then that way, like when people call me, they already know me. And that's the mindset that I had on this. It's when I was making these cold calls, you had to like pound these guys, right? So that way, exactly, you gotta build the trust. But now, YouTube has helped me where they know exactly who I am. They're calling me, I'm not calling them. All right, guys, we had such a long day today. We did so much today, it was unbelievable. And I just wanted to say thank you so much for showing me everything. You really took the time out of your day, and you didn't have to do this, and I really do appreciate it. And guys, what you guys really need to do is to go show him some love, right? What's the name of that channel?
Chandler David Smith. And seriously, thank you. This was a blast. I love doing these. I learned a ton, especially with all you know about real estate and purchasing homes and new builds and everything else. But I'm pumped to see you buy one of those bigger properties.
All right.
We got to make sure that happens for you, and for any of you that are wanting to invest in real estate or learn how to get started. I've got a ton of videos out there that show you how to do it, and it's just at Chandler David Smith on my YouTube channel.
And here's the thing, if you guys want to get into real estate, go to his course. I have a link in the description below. His course is worth it. I'm telling you, you guys need to go to his course. And when you come to Vegas, you got to do the podcast.
Okay, let's do it. Thank you so much.
Guys.
That means a lot.
Peace.
Test me in again, we let it rain. Please don't start us up. Got that black and white, that yin and yang. Mr. Officer, please don't search us, we don't got a thing. Tell them park it up, then add that the fireworks, I keep the flame hurting. The wrong tree, I got the strings. Yeah, I'm charging up. They can't keep up, got them looking drained. Now they walking up, trying to put the face to the name. I'm in flex mode with the best, though. That's a major key, that's a chess move. I'm your favorite G, I think it's best, yo. Stop with all the grilling, I'm on jet fuel. Taking off, clear the runway, now they cannot clip my wings. Yeah, they soft, they ain't homie, they ain't even on the scene. Play it